Now that we're setting the viewport for the map and we're adjusting it whenever we drag it around, we want to get the user's current position. And as a result, we want to update the viewport, the general area that we're looking at, as well as the pin. We want to put a pin down wherever the user is. So we're going to go back to our map component and we'll create a new piece of state. So we'll add another useState call up at the top. And this value is going to be initially null. We're going to update it. And the two values that we're going to get back are going to represent the user's position. So one variable is going to be the user position, and the setter will be set user position. When our map component mounts, we want to get the user's current position, and in order to execute a function on mount, we're going to need the useEffect hook, and we'll add useEffect here. It's going to take an effect function, and to make sure it only runs on mount and unmount, we'll add a comma and then include a second argument of this empty array. So when our component mounts, we want to get the user position. So we're going to execute this new function, getUserPosition, and we'll create it directly underneath. And in order to get the user's current position, we're going to use a tool that's built into the window called Navigator. And on Navigator, we're going to have a geolocation object that's going to contain a lot of different methods, one of which is going to allow us to get the user's current position. So we first want to perform a check on the window and see if we have a property geolocation in Navigator. If we do, then we can use navigator.geolocation, and off of it we'll use the getCurrentPosition function. Now upon executing getCurrentPosition, we're going to get a position object, which is going to be returned to us in a callback, and we're going to be able to get the user's latitude and longitude from an object called position.coords. So we can destructure the properties latitude and longitude from the coords object. And as I mentioned, we want to do two things. We want to set the viewport, update the viewport, as well as set the user position. So we'll set the viewport. So we'll pass in a new object and spread in all of the previous viewport values, and that includes the zoom integer, how much the map is zoomed, and then we can add in latitude and longitude. And then we can call setUserPosition, also passing in an object with latitude and longitude as well. So now let's save map.js, and when our component mounts, we'll be asked for our location, and we'll select allow. Once our current position has been calculated using geolocation, our viewport's going to change, and our user position has been updated, but we're not displaying anything on the map. So we want to add a pin where we're currently located, and to do so, we'll create a new area between our map tags, and this will be a pin for the user's current position. So we'll add a conditional. We'll check to see that we have a truthy value for user position, and therefore we can display a pin. So if user position's been set, we'll add the marker component, and the marker component is going to come once again from React Map GL, so we'll import that. So this marker component will consist of a number of props, or we can pass a number of props to it. First of all, we need to pass the latitude. That's going to come from userPosition.latitude, as well as longitude from userPosition.longitude. And then I'm going to adjust the position of this marker slightly on the map by adding an offset left of -19 pixels, an offset top of -37 pixels. And then to display a pin icon, we can use the pin icon component that we have here, right next to map. So we'll uncomment this icon from Material UI and replace this div with it. And to be able to dynamically change the color and size of this icon, we'll allow it to accept some props. For example, size, color, as well as on-click, if we want to add an on-click event to our marker. So we'll set on-click to on-click, and then add a style prop, where to change the size dynamically, we'll set font size to the size value that's passed in through props, and color, the color rule will be set to whatever color is passed in as a string. So now back in map, we can import pin icon from /pin icon, and then we'll head back down between the marker tags, then add pin icon, where I'll provide a a size prop set to 40 and a color prop set to red. And if we save both of these files and take a look at our map again, we should see a pin put in our exact location, and if we move around the map, the pin stays in place.